This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Well, General Motors dropped a bombshell yesterday. It announced it will get rid of its diesel and gasoline engines for light vehicles by 2035. Remember, when we say light vehicles, that it still includes full-size pickups and SUVs. While that is 14 years away, in automotive terms, it's only 2 design cycles away, which is right around the corner. GM also wants to be completely carbon neutral in its global products and operations by 2040. That's a very aggressive schedule. A few days ago, Nissan announced it wants to be carbon neutral by 2050, so GM would beat it by a decade. GM will also have 30 different BEVs for sale around the world by 2025 and has committed $27 billion to get there. And the stock market liked what GM had to say, but it didn't go wild. GM closed up 3.4%. But GM's strong push into electrics may have caused investors to have second thoughts about EV startups. The entire sector fell, with Nikola plunging 19% and Fisker dropping 7%. Tesla started out Monday at a high of nearly $900 a share, but investors were disappointed with its latest financial numbers, and it trended down all week. So investors turned their attention to the automotive supplier community. Adient, the interior supplier, was up 5%. Aptiv, the software and electronics company, was up over 4%. Magna posted a 3.6% gain, and Cooper Standard was up 3%. But the best automotive stock of them all was on the retail side. Carvana jumped 7%. Tesla showed off the new versions of the Model S and X, and during the company's fourth quarter earnings call, Elon Musk revealed more details about future products. He confirmed that the Roadster won't go into production until next year, about 2 years after it was originally supposed to hit the market. It was delayed in part to focus on the Cybertruck. And speaking of that truck, Musk says that Tesla will be, quote, lucky to deliver some this year. Volume production won't begin until next year. Musk says that they've almost finished engineering the Cybertruck, but they need to order new manufacturing equipment in order to build it. And speaking of trucks, Elon says they're ready to start producing semi-trucks, but need those 4680 cells to do so. And lastly, Musk said that Tesla plans to introduce an electric commercial van, but it too won't be available until the company can secure the proper battery cell supply for it.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
Hey, we've got a great Autoline After Hours we think you might be interested in, posted on our website and YouTube channel. Our guest was Dan Green from a company called Tuor that developed a hack-proof wiring system that could be used in cars, computers, and just about everything else. To convince the Department of Defense how good it is, Tuor invited it to try and hack into one of its computers. Take a look at that.
In fact, we put out a challenge to prove to the DoD that this worked, in which we said, look, here's a computer and here's a file. Here's everything you need to know to get into it. We're going to leave it up online 24/7 until further notice. And if you can get into it, we will give you $50,000 and a case of single malt scotch. 1 year later, we still have the money, but I've gone through the scotch. We had over 490,000 hits from all around the world without a single successful intrusion. And we use that computer in the lab every day.
So, Dan, who from all over the world tried to hack into your computer?
Oh, we had North Korea, China, France, England, a whole bunch of people from the West Coast, a whole bunch of people from the East Coast. We even had a guy from Iceland.
While there's been a lot of talk about the Hyundai Group partnering up with Apple to make EVs and batteries, sounds like the automaker is wringing its hands over whether or not to become a contract manufacturer. Hyundai is fairly well vertically integrated, making many of its own components in-house. And Reuters reports a Hyundai executive as saying, quote, "We are not a company which manufactures cars for others. It's not like working with Apple would always produce great results." And there's truth in that statement. While companies like Magna contract manufacture vehicles for others and make money at it, they also program management and logistics. There's not a lot of money to be made by simply bolting a bunch of components together. Despite a crazy 2020, Daimler reported a better-than-expected operating profit for the year, thanks to cost-cutting measures and car sales picking back up. Its earnings before interest and taxes, or EBIT, for 2020 came in at 6.6 billion euros, or a little more than $8 billion, which is an increase of 52% compared to 2019. While that's great news, when its full financial report comes out on February 18th, we expect Daimler's net profit figure won't be so sparkling. Daimler also warns that the continued chip shortage and disruptions related to the global pandemic will impact its first quarter results for this year as well.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, solutions for your journey, and by Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering. Boost your game.
The 2021 Hyundai Elantra was named the North American Car of the Year, and it's easy to see why the jury chose it over all the others. Hyundai has a knack for equipping its cars with the latest technology and pricing them very attractively. We test drove an Elantra with the limited trim level, which comes standard with equipment you might expect on a luxury car. For example, adaptive cruise control, collision avoidance with pedestrian and bicycle detection, and rear cross-traffic braking. It also had leather trim seats, an 8-speaker Bose sound system, and a wireless charging pad for your phone. All that for $26,600. Under the hood is a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4 with 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. That power is fed through a CVT, which did not exactly deliver crisp shifts and tended to make the engine moan under light throttle. The Elantra rides firmly, but it also transmits every bump and road irregularity into the cabin. We found the new Nissan Sentra to be much better in that regard. Even so, when you consider the entire package, the Elantra is a compelling car to consider for anyone who's looking for a 5-passenger sedan that delivers 35 miles to the gallon, is nicely equipped, and won't break the bank. We've seen a lot of activity involving vertical takeoff and landing aircraft recently, but one big thing that's holding that market back is a lack of infrastructure for VTOLs. That's why Hyundai, the UK government, and the city of Coventry in England have partnered with Urban Airport, a company that develops infrastructure for future air mobility, to build a hub for VTOLs. The site, which will be located in Coventry, launches later this year and will be used to test and demonstrate the potential of VTOLs for passenger and cargo delivery. The hub is 60% smaller compared to a traditional heliport, can be completely run off the grid, and can be installed in just a few days thanks to innovative construction techniques. Urban Airport plans to install 200 of these sites worldwide over the next 5 years, and Hyundai is supporting the initial hub as part of its goal to commercialize its VTOLs by 2028. Volkswagen just opened its first facility to recycle electric vehicle batteries that can no longer be reused for other purposes. Initially, the site can recycle up to 3,600 vehicle batteries a year, but in the future, it will be scaled up as it optimizes the process. In the long term, it says it will be able to recycle 90% of the battery. In addition to aluminum, copper, and plastics, the process yields what's called black powder, which contains valuable raw materials like lithium, nickel, manganese, and cobalt. Those materials are then separated by a hydrometallurgical process to be reused for VW's battery cell production. That's all we've got for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on Monday.
Wards is the industry leader for news, data, and analysis. That's why companies across the globe subscribe to our premium service, maybe even your own. Log in for subscriber access now. Check your company's intranet for details and rely on wardsauto.com to keep you informed.